Norton dunks on Justin Trudeau. So Justin Trudeau, the official government of Canada, went ahead and tweeted out on Black Ribbon Day. On Black Ribbon Day, we remember the victims of communism and Nazism. We stand with the survivors and their descendants and with all those who continue to face violence and persecution from authoritarian and totalitarian regimes. So I'm with Justin Trudeau on being against authoritarian and totalitarian regimes. Overly authoritarian, overly totalitarian, ones that absolutely so. But I don't really like the way that he equates communism with Nazism. Now, Joseph Stalin killed a lot of people. Joseph Stalin killed a lot of people, or his own people, but he also stopped the Nazis. And then Mao Zedong, he killed a lot of his own people too. And that was after World War II. But Ben Norton, he's going to come hard with this tweet that made me think about some things differently, made me appreciate the communist nations, because he points out that it was communism that defeated Nazism, right? America wants to, and it's good, this is one of our holy wars. World War II is one of our holy wars. We stopped Hitler from taking over the world. We also stopped Mussolini and, Tojo, so Japan. So it was communism that defeated Nazism, because when you compare the body counts of the Americans and the Brits, we, sacrificed 400,000 Americans and Brits. But then the Soviets, they sacrificed 26 million of themselves. And the Chinese, 20 million died fighting Japanese fascism. So 26 million Soviets sacrificed their lives. 26 million, Russians, 20 million Chinese died fighting the Nazis, compared to our 400,000. We didn't even lose 1 million. We didn't even lose 1 million people, but 20 million Chinese died fighting against Japanese fascism, and 26 Soviets sacrificed their lives to crush Hitler's Germany. So the Soviet Union, right, they had Japan on one side, Germany on the other, Italy on the other. America's all the way, comfortably nestled in between these two big-ass oceans. So compare the death tolls, compare the sacrifice. The Chinese sacrificed way more than we, the Americans and the British, and the Soviet Union sacrificed way more. So thank God for the Chinese. And were the Chinese, were they communists then? I don't know. But the Soviet Union definitely was communist then. And so Stalin, killed a lot of his own people, but Stalin helped to defeat Nazism. Right? Churchill, FDR, Stalin. And so I think that's an important distinction. I don't really like the comparisons. I wonder if there is just right wing, it's almost like it's just authoritarian for authoritarian's sake, and left wing, communist, it's almost like it's authoritarian for the benefit of the poor peasants. And so that's almost like, well, that's all right. You want an effective leader, right? So, what am I talking about now? I don't know. I just wanted to point out that Ben Norton dunked on Justin Trudeau. So, Ben Norton, he ain't afraid of no ghost. Frank Analysis and two others liked Ben Norton's tweet. He's actually got more than 1,000 retweets and over 3,000 hearts, 101 comments. But 26 million Soviets sacrificed their lives to crush Hitler's Germany, compared to 400,000 American and Brits, and 20 million Chinese died beating Japanese fascism. So when it comes to World War II, we cannot underestimate how much more the Chinese and the Soviet Union had sacrificed to defeat Nazi Germany and Mussolini Italy and Tojo Japan. They sacrificed so much more. If it wasn't for the Soviet Union, if it wasn't for the Chinese, they fought for a long time. We waited for, several years before we jumped in, because we're smart. We let them all kill each other because we're so smart. But that's why, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. If one country starts to genocide and massacre and kill their own people, or a block of people, or the neighboring countries, how much longer do you think until it eventually comes to your doorstep? Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And Ben Norton knows this, and Ben Norton also knows that it was communism that defeated Nazism. Justin Trudeau. Fucking Justin Trudeau. Thinking what? Goddamn communism and Nazism is equivalent to one another? They're so different. They're so different. Nazism could actually be as good as communism if it had a fucking point. Nazism is just authoritarian, you know, just to be an oppressor, just to be an oppressor. Fuck it, let's just be an oppressor just to be an oppressor. Is it for a purpose? Nope. For me to have power and you to have none. That's the point. Communism is dictatorship of the proletariat. So, you know, you'd like to think that you don't need a centralized government. You don't need a centralizing oppressive force. What am I saying? I don't know. Just appreciate the Soviet Union. 26 fucking million Soviets. 20 million, you know, Soviets died. So a lot of people talk about, what, 6 million Jewish folks, 6 million, 10 million is what Hitler killed total. 26 million Soviets died. 20 million, you know, 26 million Soviets and 20 million Chinese. So let's appreciate that communism defeated Nazism. Communism defeated Nazism. Okay? This is a false equivalency. It's almost like when they talk about the Black Panthers and the KKK. That's not even compared. I mean, the KKK was just a hate group just for hate's sake. The Black Panthers is, you know, black nationalist, but it's saying for self-defense, we need to protect ourselves because we are under occupation. So on Black Ribbon Day, we remember the victims of communism and Nazism. We stand with the survivors and their descendants and with all those who continue to face violence and persecution. Actually, Justin Trudeau, it was communism that defeated Nazism.